Captain Rick Rock TV. Let's get to the content.
Nolan Wells' full autopsy has came back. I'm going to do this reaction with y'all. This is my first time watching it. It hit my desk, so we going to watch it together. I want everybody to subscribe to the channel right now. Subscribe to the channel right now. Let's go ahead and get into it over here at Willie D's. Let's go.
Boy, we got a major development. The autopsy is back. The official autopsy in the death of Nolan Wells has been completed, but the findings remain under seal and will be presented to a grand jury. Trial attorney Jack Palmieri joins us to discuss what these developments may mean and what legal questions may come next.
Can we definitely get better information than we got from Ben Crump when he did it? Not the when he did do the autopsy. Explain it to us better than he did, please, so we could understand all what's going on.
There he is. What's up? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me, as always.
For sure, man. So straight to it, man. What is the biggest thing you're looking for the autopsy to answer?
How Nolan died. That remains my number one question. We spoke about it yesterday, how he died. We learned how he died. Everything else falls into play. Then we can start to really articulate where he died, who killed him, if it's by someone else's hands, when he died. We got to know where he died, how he died. That's what I need to know. Right.
How much weight do you think the grand juries typically give to an autopsy? Like
massive.
Massive. Okay.
So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to know, like in a case like this, how much weight does an autopsy carry for the grand jury?
Yeah. Typically, anything that's objective evidence, we talked about this, it's going to be weighed more heavily. And for an autopsy, it's your CSI moment. It's what everyone has seen on TV. That's the part they want. They want the DNA. They want the forensics. They want the medical exam, because the report, if done honestly, it doesn't care what you and I think or how you and I feel. The body is the body. The results are the results.
Let's start right there. So, did they get the throat? Did they get the lungs? Because the last time we heard that they didn't have that. The second examiner didn't have that. So did the second examiner end up getting the lungs and the throat and did his homework on the whole situation? Did we do his investigation? Because that's what we want to know. So is that what they got completed? I would like to know that. I'm pretty sure y'all would too.
Right. If we presume for the moment that it's done in an honest fashion, that he didn't have a break in his left arm and it wasn't written down, it's going to tell us the condition of his body, and there should be, if possible, if it allows, a determination of what caused his death. The juries we hang for that. The juries want to know, because that will tell the jury, is someone other than Nolan, by accident or purpose, responsible for his death? They're gonna be all over that.
Could the autopsy change the direction of this case, even this late in the process?
Yeah, I think at this point, given how everything else has gone in the investigation, we've discussed it at length, the autopsy, it's the only thing we have to go on. It's everything. This determines which direction this goes. If it's determined an accident, if it's determined that it was Nolan's own fault, if it was an accident by someone else, if it was by someone else intentionally, right? This is the case at this point.
So how are we going to know if it was an accident? How are we going to know that? By the autopsy. I want to know if we're going to explain that to it. Like I say, I'm doing a reaction, just like I'm doing a reaction for y'all as y'all watching it. I'm doing it. I haven't seen it yet, so I want to know. That's what I want to know. How are they going to find out if it was an accident?
What's your gut? What's your gut about that autopsy? What's your gut? Because I know you've been on this case as much as I have now. So what's your gut?
Yeah. So I get my answer from the independent medical examination. So that's where my answer is going to come from. I think it's going to be consistent with the independent medical examination. I did a video earlier today on my thoughts on the case and on the IME, the independent medical exam. The reality is, we can say with some fairness that there could be bias attributed to the state medical examiner, right? We don't trust this county, we don't trust this state, we don't trust this office. They have a history of anywhere between negligence and recklessness to outright just suspiciousness, right? Nolan Wells' family and Ben Crump's attorney, we talked about the doctor who did the independent medical exam. He is creme de la creme. He's one of the best, okay? He was brought in from their team. Typically, you expect an expert that you bring in, that you pay to determine a conclusion consistent with what your theory of what happened is. Their own doctor could not do that. Their own came in and said, look, I cannot tell you one way or another what happened to Nolan. That was crucial. Now, yes, there were limitations to that report, and yes, there were parts of Nolan's body that were kept from the independent medical exam, but that one, the one that, as a defense attorney, when I bring an expert witness, it's usually because they're going to bolster my version of what happened, right? And the same thing for the state. And we always cross-examine. You brought in from the state, you brought in from the defense. They paid you all this money to do this. He could not help them. I think the state's autopsy is consistent. The only thing we're going to learn, if we ever see it, is about the throat, right? And it'll be closer to whatever kind of death Nolan was. But I think it's going to track for better or worse.
All right, so where is the report? I know this video is probably it's about 50 minutes long. I want to know, where's the report? What is the report saying? That's what I want to know. Everybody wants. That's what we waiting on.
Okay, let me push back here. So that autopsy, as you said, was inconclusive because he did not have all of the parts. He did not have all of the parts that needed to be examined. Therefore, assuming that the ME did not dispose of those organs, there will be a second independent autopsy. You better believe, because I suspect that the reason why we're just getting the autopsy back is because, for the same reason, they're slow to give us video evidence. When it's not consistent with the narrative, they take their time. You know what I'm saying? They take their time because they're over there playing around with stuff, doctoring stuff up, trying to make it fit.
Correct. So this is the first examiner. They finished with their autopsy. So the other autopsy that we seen was from the second examiner. So this is the state of Mississippi. They finally done with their autopsy report. Oh, I can't wait to see what they didn't say.
Right? Because, like when the police have a case and they know that it's clear as day that this person did something wrong, man, they put out the video before the news report come out. They put out the evidence like, look, man, we ain't do nothing. Look, we just follow protocol. Look at this shit. He deserved it. Look. And it's clear as day. Everybody go like, yeah, okay, I can see that. And then people go on about that business. But when it's questionable, they take all day, every day to let us see it. And I believe that if not for the public pressure, the family may have never known what the results of the autopsy was.
Right. Everybody that's doing the reactions on it. Everybody that's doing reactions on it, the whole internet is talking about it, putting so much pressure on it, is forcing them to show their hand. They so used to covering stuff up, allegedly, that now all this pressure, they panicking over there.
Because they held the medical examiner, who has been also accused of not giving black people justice in the past, especially black people who were killed under suspicious circumstances where the suspects were white. She has a history of this. So at this point, her job is her actions on her job is pathological. Okay, so we don't trust her. She held those body parts for a reason.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Showed the heck did. No, she messed up. I don't see nothing wrong. I don't see no foul play. You seen enough foul play to take the evidence.
And that reason, I do believe, is that she did not want the independent autopsy examiner, the medical examiner,
to expose her. She didn't want to get exposed.
Come to the conclusion that we all suspect. I think that there will be a second independent autopsy. There has to be, because knowing the state of Mississippi, knowing how the officials get down, and I mean on every level, you're talking about Mississippi could be a case study for corruption. If you want to go to the epicenter of corruption in America judicial system, start with Mississippi. Now, I'm in Texas, so I can't talk that much, but Mississippi got us for sure.
Yeah, and I think to your point, if Nolan was not the victim and he had been a defendant, we'd be having the same conversation about Mississippi, right? Imagine how reversed this entire thing would have been if Nolan was an accused. We'd be talking the same about the.
Oh, it would have been all, but they would have solved this case already. If this was Nolan that would have did this to one of them, this case would have been solved already. Nolan to be in jail right now. He would have been in jail the first night. Nolan would have been in custody, getting questioned the first night.
Corruption, about the misconduct, about the biased treatments. You're absolutely right on this. I think Nolan, whatever his position would have been in being a case, never would have gotten a fair deal. You're absolutely right. And to your point, the state examiner is taking a lot of time for one of two reasons. They're in sync, either because they need to feel or know they got it right, or they need to know that their story is locked tight, right? So it's no matter what happens, once that report ever comes out, it's going to be scrutinized, going to be analyzed. You're not going to be looking at it, and whether you feel they did an honest job or you feel they did Nolan wrong, they've got to make sure their T's are crossed and their I's are dotted, so that we have the hardest time breaking it down. It won't work, but that's why they have to take their time. Because if they rush it, then you and I are talking about, look how quickly and how sloppily they did this autopsy. Why didn't they take more time? Where was Nolan going? We want answers. We don't want, the best reports aren't quick, and the quickest reports are never the best.
That's because when you used to doing things a certain way, getting away with it, not getting this much national attention, it's the same program, regular program. This case wasn't meant to get this much attention. Now that it got this much attention, like I say, when you used to doing things a certain way and it's a change in the program, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on? What's going on now? Everybody panicking. Because you can't cover up this one.
You're right. So we've got them in a corner. We want them to be taking the time, but I also don't trust them because they're not releasing it. And there's the rub.
Yeah, there's the rub. Let's say the autopsy comes back with more questions than answers. What's the investigator's next move?
Try and answer some of those questions. It's back to square one. It's
No, it shouldn't be no damn back. It shouldn't be no back to square one. It should be some cuffs going on somebody's head. It should be some handcuffs getting put on some wrists. Not no back to square one.
You know, I guess my question would be, what questions we think could be raised? You know, now it's a matter of, are we concerned with how the body was handled, right? Because if there are injuries or observations to Nolan's body that are inconsistent with everything, well, have that happen. You know, we haven't heard, oh yeah, the week before he had a football accident. By all accounts, he should be a healthy young man when he was examined. He wasn't like a 60-year-old smoker, right? He didn't have any kind of trauma. He should be a healthy young man that any injury should be really obvious and distinct. So if there are questions, why and where do those questions come from? And why can't you answer them for us? It's your job. Your job is to investigate. What are you doing?
Yeah. Let's say that autopsy directly contradicts the original narrative. How difficult would it be for the prosecutors to pivot without losing credibility?
It depends on which way it's inconsistent. You know, you can always pivot away from people testimony, right? Because you and I are biased. We forget things. You know, the mind.
Man, this is pissing me off, man. Man, what's going on with the feds taking over this case, man? What is going on here, man? Everybody's tired of all this talking, man. Tired of all this talking. Maybe we need to go over there and find some cases where some brothers did something, man, and see how fast all that took to get situated. It's too much talking going on, man. Leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. Y'all can go to Willie D's page. Let me take y'all over there and watch the rest of this, man. It's a long video. I don't think they ever got to the autopsy. Let me see. Let me get right. No, I don't think they got to the autopsy. I don't think they released it, but the full autopsy report is out. Let me get back over here. The full autopsy report is out. I'm getting tired, man. I'm getting tired of the BS, man. I'm about to start acting the fool on here in a minute. Just acting the fool. Leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. It's Compton Rick Rock with Compton Rick Rock TV. I'll catch all of y'all on the next reaction. Gone.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Compton Rick Rock TV. Also, hit that notification bell and catch every video when I drop.